Okay.
Hey, we'd like to welcome everybody to the regular meeting of the Cambridge City Council here August 12th, 2024 at 80 South Superior Street at 7:05 p.m. We'll begin with a Pledge of Allegiance, and Nan, could you lead us in that, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you have the bills and the agenda before you. Are there any questions?
I have a question on the bills. Something I've never seen before. The EPA penalty, sewer violation, $640 million.
Yep, that was, DEQ actually sent out an email, I don't know, I think it was a month and a half ago or so, about EPA's stepping up their, or enhancing their enforcement on violations, little stuff, big stuff, all that. And they sent us a list of violations that, they were looking at the city for. Two of them were total suspended solids loading and removal, percent removal, which was, let's see, I don't have the big paper with me. I believe it was March this year, which were ones that, those are ones I usually, well, not usually, but historically have had issues getting my suspended solids removals down because our influent is too clean with the water, too clean water coming in. One sec.
The too clean water would be the I&I that we were talking about in one of our last meetings.
Yeah.
The influence, this
Infiltration.
melting snow, we get penalized because our water's too clean.
Yeah, and the other one was I had missed a quarterly sample of the Weezer River upstream in 22, fourth quarter. We used to only sample when we were discharging, and under the new permit it changed, and that was right when it changed, and I spaced it off. So
That's this paper I put in everyone's packet. That talks
It
about
really didn't say what it was. When I read it, it just.
Yeah, we've never had one before.
I couldn't find it attached anywhere.
Yeah, on previous violations, we've been able to negotiate and we've never been penalized that I can remember.
Yeah, that's why I've never seen it.
Did I miss a snowstorm, or did Bill just bill us for last winter?
he billed us from last winter. He's a little behind.
Yeah.
The
You were out of town. I'm running on much sleep, but I didn't know if the snow moved.
He said he got a little behind with the issues he was having on the fire line up there at Adams County Health Center. So that
Good. I don't have to pay for my rock for 6 months that he brought me.
Are there any other questions on the
Robert,
bills?
did Corey send you that?
I'll make a motion to,
You guys probably would need a copy of that.
Okay, it's been moved
Sorry.
by Nan and seconded by Mr. Harrison to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, HECO Engineer Report. Transportation, streets, roads, water system, wastewater system. Anything else?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Please see attached status report for August 12th of this month. First item is on page 6, G, Section G, LTAC Child Pedestrian Safety CPS Program. Item 12, ECO submitted the CPS project closeout form to city on August 8th of this year.
And I've submitted it to LTAC.
Thank you, I saw that. Was there any comments on that?
And the closeout form is just the completion of the project, right?
Yeah, then just for justification, if there was any change orders or difference in budget, which there wasn't.
Yeah.
And they wanted to see before and after pictures, which were pretty nice ones and
Really nice ones.
really nice ones, so we sent them, so. I haven't heard anything from,
All they did is verify receipt of the closeout form, so they didn't say anything.
that was all on that. Item number H, same page. Number 10, 9 and 10, ECO submitted and agreed the agreement and notice to proceed to the city on July 22nd of this year. Item number 10, ECO attended the pre-construction meeting with the city and the contractor on July 24th of this year. Next item is on page 8, wastewater system. Item 41, ECO submitted the revised wastewater facility plan and collection system INI study on DEQ on July 16th of this year.
Do we have acknowledgement of
Yeah.
approval?
We got notice that Gary Carroll is reviewing it, but he hasn't said yet any comments or provide any comments on those still, which we expect will soon. So we'll, sure you'll know before or when you know. And that's all I have for you, Mayor and Council.
I have a question concerning our road back here, our construction project that we're in right now. We held a special meeting right after we walked the streets that day when you were here.
Okay.
We had a meeting the next week so that we would approve all the change orders. And we did. And then they brought that grinder in and it sat there for 4 days doing nothing. And then on Friday, they started grinding and they ground on Saturday, which was all fine, but they didn't finish. And so then it got sent back down below. So my question is, who's going to pay to have that thing brought back up again? Because we made a special effort to make sure that it could all get done while it was here. And then it sat there for 4 days and didn't do anything. And then it got shipped back. So now we've got another $2,000 mobilization charge that's going to cost to get it back up here to finish grinding.
The city shouldn't be accountable for that stuff. I heard that, from what I heard from Scott, our field guy, he said that the grinder broke down, so I think that's why it got sent over there. And they're working on, assuming on getting it back up.
Okay, but I'm saying it was here 4 days before it broke down, before they even started using it. It just sat here when they could have got all the grinding done, in my opinion.
From my understanding, from what Shane, the project manager, told me was that so they were supposed to start grinding on Thursday and it got pushed a day, but it's a special crew that runs the milling machine. It wasn't, and they got held up in North Idaho for some reason, so that's why they were a day later. But as far as it sitting for 4 days, I don't know.
Well, and maybe that's just the way transportation worked out, but we went to a special effort to make sure all those change orders were approved and ready to go so they could all be done in one fell swoop. And now we're gonna be looking at a $2,000 bill that somebody's gonna pay.
I don't think they're gonna charge you, and if they do, I mean, you have change orders that were approved for the amount of days for that work, so the city's covered on that. There shouldn't be any additional charges.
Because originally they told us that there would be another mobilization charge, and that's why we hustled up and had that meeting.
Correct.
So anyway, I got a problem with that, so we need to work through that when that time comes to start talking about $2,000 to get it back up here. That needs to be a conversation.
Yeah.
Where they calling that thing from?
Their yard in Boise.
I'm gonna start holding fire for this.
There you go. See?
$2,000.
Well, That's what they said. Yeah.
We could check with them at our next meeting when we come up here.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's,
Well, I just want everybody to be aware that I'm not happy about that because we made special efforts.
That's correct.
That one truck driver told me that was a piece of crap. That they
Well-
brought up. They had 3 others sitting down there that run better than that one. They should have brought one of the other 3s instead of that piece of crap. That's what one truck driver told me.
we'll make
Yeah.
sure to talk to them
Anyway.
and everything's gonna go by the change order and
Yeah.
we'll confirm that with Sandra know that.
Yeah, it should be on them. There shouldn't be
It
any,
should be on them, the city's covered.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure that we're covered.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
So,
They know that we know.
yeah,
They are, I'm pretty sure they know.
okay. Yeah, so anyway, I can't wait for that meeting. Okay, thanks, Robert. Appreciate that. Item 3, Hardin Sanitation, Inc., exclusive franchise agreement. I hope you all took time to read that and study it because it's definitely interesting. Sandra, just a point of clarification, and you remember our last one, you probably have our last one. Was it called an exclusive franchise
I
agreement?
believe so. Yeah,
So it has the same title.
yeah. And I think it has to be exclusive.
To get the better rates.
Well, most cities wouldn't want it not to be exclusive because you're gonna have more congestion and different trucks on the road and confusion. And so they're usually done exclusively. And our last one was for 7 years, not 10 years. Just, if you weren't aware of that, this
So-
one's for 10 years.
Yeah, so did they give any explanation for that, or we haven't had an opportunity to ask them?
No, they just gave this that they wanted to propose, and I thought maybe it'd be better for us to go through it first before they did. I found a few things that,
That's what
You might wanna-
my questions are, is where's I don't know what the changes are, so you say to go through it and read it, but I don't know.
Well,
they put it in a whole different format than our other ones, so.
That's what I'm saying, I don't know what was,
so I just read through it and I just started writing down questions that I had. I mean, like on the very first, page 2. Definition of bag, plastic sack, secured at the top, designed to store refuge with sufficient wall strength to maintain physical integrity. How are we supposed to control that? So that they're supposed to have bags that are good enough to hold 30 to 35 pounds. How do we control their bags to be 30 to 35
Well,
pounds?
we don't, but they're saying that they're gonna have to provide something within that definition for the customers. If the customers come to us and say,
Okay.
they have these wimpy bags or whatever, we can say, well, they meet this
Wimpy,
standard.
wimpy. Anyway, but that, just things like that, so I hope as we kind of walk through this a little bit, that some of you others have questions on things that we need to highlight and ask. So I'll turn the rest of the time over to the council and you guys tell me.
this stuff on the dumpsters, cause that's what I got at my house.
Okay,
What did he say?
dumpsters?
On definition? What does he say?
I wonder if there's any rules on the dumpsters.
Oh,
Well, when you sign up with them, the customer has all the details of whatever, those type of details are. It might not all be in our part of it.
white goods. I kind of thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The white goods. So basically, if you're throwing out
Appliances.
old appliances, that's a white good. I didn't know that.
Bathtub and heater.
That's kind of a little racist, huh?
Well,
Not up here.
my appliances are stainless steel, so I can't get them picked up?
I'm
Just paint
thinking
them
that's
white.
old school
Spray paint white.
tongue, isn't it?
There you go.
Yeah.
Can of spray paint.
White people could afford it, but black people can afford it, is that what they?
Also, it doesn't say that you won't pick them up.
That's just a definition.
It's just definition, just kind of like in our code, we have to define everything that's going to be used within that code, so they know what we're talking about.
somewhere, I didn't make a note of it, but somewhere they only defined 2 days as holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving.
No, I got
No,
3.
they got a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But then as you go further into it, then every day's a holiday.
Only if the,
Holidays,
If the dump's gonna be closed, so,
New Year's Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day.
any day that the public landfill is closed and not
Yeah.
allowed to operate.
but prior to that, somewhere in here, it just talks about the 2 main holidays, but anytime there's a holiday, they don't work. Or they're
So
a day
is there
late.
any major changes to the old one to this one? I mean,
Well, they went from 7 years to 10 years.
okay.
The holidays, the following
And
days.
so that's concerning to us because one city council cannot hang a contract on another city council.
Yeah, but that's kind of on them type of thing. I mean, I don't know, we'd have to ask an attorney about that, but even 7 years is more than one council, so. You can do it, but they need to know that that could be non-binding, type of thing.
Okay.
I have a bunch of things that
Okay.
I wanted to point out between.
Okay, well, feel free. Let's,
After you're done.
okay, well, yeah, I'm just kind of nitpicking at it, but does anybody else have any major questions that they want to ask before we turn it over to Sandra and she can tell us what we're really supposed to see?
I like that. I just have a simple one, where they say nobody else they can compete. Does that mean an individual doing their own trash?
No,
No,
It's
it's
a company.
yeah, not a company.
yeah.
Well, it doesn't, it defines it, let's see, where is it? Oh, on section 2, it says third party, customer, any company, customer, or third party. Which kind of covers everything, including me trying to take my trash to the dump.
Well, our other one specifically said that they weren't required to use the service possibly.
This one kind of said they are.
Sure if I remember that, if it said that specifically.
I looked through the whole thing and couldn't see anywhere where it was accepted.
So maybe that's one thing we need to check.
Then I had a question on 14, spillage. It is understood and agreed that the service provider shall not be required to clean up, collect, or dispose of any loose or spilled municipal solid waste. So,
It says not caused by the service provider's rendering of the service.
yeah.
So if they
So
do it, they
they're-
gotta clean it
So
up.
if somebody
so if it
puts a,
blows out when they're dumping it, then they're supposed to pick it up. Is that? I mean, is that how
Well,
that? That's kind of
that
how
makes
that
sense.
Yeah,
reads.
or if they dump over a garbage can while they're trying to pick it up, they gotta pick it up.
or if you put a
know.
garbage
But if
bag on
there's-
top of your garbage can and a dog tears it open in the middle of the night,
That's probably
You're
not
on
on
your
them.
own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're not gonna take the time to stop and pick it up.
right.
They dump out there, there's a lot of stuff dumps out on the ground, they just back away.
Well,
So, go ahead.
I just had one thing on section 6 where they on the annual community event.
Oh, yeah.
There's 5 3-yard containers and then 5 95-gallon roll carts, which, Commercial Club this year said they don't need the roll carts because they were donated ones. So, just dumpsters. But normally in the past we've done 8 to 10 dumpsters.
So
So-
we want 8 to 10 3-yard containers?
Yeah, I don't. Sometimes it's kind of a matter of, before it used to be
Well, the other point is how big is this thing gonna get?
the event.
Well,
Yeah.
they probably want to specifically say, before they just said they'd do whatever and we call them every year, but now they probably kind of want to define it. So if we start asking for more and more and more and more, that there might be a cost to it.
So I would say 10 3-yard dumpsters because in previous years, they brought up a couple, 3 yards, a couple 4 yards, kind of whatever they had.
And no
available.
roll carts?
No, well, that's this year because Brandy had told me that commercial club had got all those roll carts of their own, so that the bags actually fit in, so they can change them out. So I would say no on the roll carts.
I like them roll carts because they always put them in the wrong spot and we have to move them every year.
Yeah.
Down at the truck show, every year.
So get rid of the roll carts?
I don't want to put a container there and we can't move them. That's the other thing.
Oh, the roll cart's not just like the residential?
Yeah, the roll carts are the residential.
Yeah, the one you can just grab the handle and move them?
Well, no, they had the dumpsters on the roll carts down there.
Oh, I thought those were roll-off dumpsters.
Well, man, I don't know, man. That's
Yeah,
what
the roll carts, I think, are just little handheld jobbers.
I don't know. I'm just saying I like them. Because every year we moved that one twice this year.
So what does the council think? 10 of the 3-yard containers and leave the 5 95-gallon roll carts if they'll let us?
Sure.
Yeah.
I had one other thing on A. They just talk about the one container that they leave us, but also they pick up the cans in the central business district, at the kiosk, and at the park. And so I'd like to define that in it as well. Is there anything?
Can we still get the trail?
Yeah, the kiosk there. There's just one there, I believe. They've been dumping it for us. So I'd like to try to include those in there if that's okay. Is there any others that I'm missing?
Was there anything in here that talked about things being emptied in a timely manner? I mean, for example, the great big dumpsters at the fairgrounds are still there, still full of trash, full of maggots and everything, I'm sure.
Is that Washington County's though, the big one?
Well,
There was
I don't know if there
was a different sanitation company down there last week. I don't know if they were loading one up or unloading one, but I saw them there by the food booth. But it wasn't a Hardin truck, it was somebody else.
But the county brings their big one from the landfill up for the fair.
Mm-hmm.
And
And they
but
came and got
they're in
that.
charge of taking care of that.
So
The
maybe
county's
maybe
not.
those are county dumpsters then.
Might be. There was the one dumpster that was on Railroad Street that was overflowing was one that got missed being picked up after Hell's Canyon days.
Well, the big blue ones that are there. I mean,
Roll-offs.
I guess, yeah, they're big roll-offs. They're still there as far as I know.
2 of them?
Well, is there one over by the food booth and then one over by the dump station? Because when we came home
So I wonder if that's
Thursday, the one by the dump station, yeah, it is. It's fair trash.
Oh.
And it's been sitting there for a week now.
I don't know that Hardin brings stuff up.
That one right
They bring those up for a fair?
No, not
No?
unless the county asked them to.
I guess we
So it might be a different company that's doing that.
Yeah.
Guess we just,
I don't think Hardin's ever brought those
But it
big
was-
cans up for
yeah, it
fair.
was the same thing last year. They sat there for
Okay.
10 days, 2 weeks.
And it might be waiting for the county to load them up to dump them themselves or something. I don't know. One thing I just thought of is with our project back here, I mean, it's not in the contract and stuff, but that might be something that needs to be addressed because I heard some didn't get picked up this week. So we probably need to let Hardin know how they can get in and out and on those days.
Well, they
I know
they
Gene
should be
said-
able to get in and out
Well,
because
Gene said
they're-
his didn't get picked
I
up
mean,
this
they've
week.
been doing ramps
Three of them
Yeah.
right there on.
for everyone to.
I mean, I drove clear through it today. There's ramps everywhere.
So unless it's just the driver going, I'm not doing that. I don't know.
But I'm just
But,
saying, maybe
yeah.
you need to give them a call and let them know we have this project, but everything's accessible or whatever.
Yeah, the one come in for motel twice, Monday and Friday, and the residential didn't even come down the road Friday.
How can they come to the hotel?
Okay, another thing I wanted to point out to you guys was Section 9 on the CPI. You know, every year they come to us as far as a rate increase on the CPI. If I'm reading this right, in this new agreement and stuff, it's automatic. It'll just be whatever it is in the last 12 months.
Yep. shall automatically increase by an amount equal to the increase, if any.
And it shall reduce if it reduces.
I don't see a reduction.
Yeah, I know, there is no reduction in there, all they talk about is going up.
But, you know,
CPI fluctuates
you
though.
won't get to talk to them, but on the other hand, it's kind of a moot point when you have to go through it anyway, because you really don't have much
Yeah.
leverage to do anything different. So, anyway, I wanted to bring that out. Let's see, and then the 10 years different. On section 17, I'm not sure why they have it this way. It says the city shall field all inquiries and complaints from commercial, industrial, and residential units and municipal facilities relating to collection, hauling, and disposal of solid waste. Sorry, not doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just put a big X.
I don't have enough room for another half.
I mean, there's no way that the city should I can't answer the questions. I mean, they're the company. Don't you think that should be them?
Yeah, because we don't know why they didn't pick up Gene's garbage can Friday.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, and then it says the service provider and the city agree to cooperate with each other in the response to any such inquiries.
Right. But they should be primary.
Yeah, they should
We
field
shouldn't be
them.
primary.
Unless they're gonna kick us back.
You know, or if
sometime.
I get a complaint, I can send it on to them type of thing, but I don't think we should be fielding, if there's any problems. So that was one thing I marked. Also, the termination section, it only talks about a breach of contract. In our old one, we didn't have quite that type of language in it for termination. But, we could, we had breach of contract, but, let me see what it is. I guess I didn't mark it. So anyway, I don't think we had anything in the other one necessarily either, but basically we can't do anything unless they breach their contract for that 10 years. But then it does automatically renew for an additional 5 years unless you give written notice. So I think.
As time's gone on, we've lost our options, because Hardin Sanitation owns Lake Shore. Hardin Sanitation owns Hardin Sanitation. There's no other companies in the vicinity.
Right, they're wait, yeah.
Yeah, no,
We
that's-
we really don't have a choice.
Let's
but
not get the city of Weezer to come up and take care of our trash.
Yeah. But, the city needs to realize that they do get a discount, the people in the city compared to the people in the county, because there's no exclusive franchise in the county. I pay more for sanitation than people in the city. So, it is a benefit to the city to have a franchise.
Okay, any other concerns from anybody?
So do you want me to approach them about these things that were mentioned and kind of make up a new one? And
Yeah, I think the spots that need to be.
yeah, let's just go back and-
maybe need an attorney to review it too, maybe before we send it to them. And
Yeah.
yeah, because this is a little bit different than our other one. We had an attorney review our very first one, and then it automatically renewed again after that. So it hasn't been reviewed for a long time, and this is quite a bit different
Okay,
wording.
let's do that. Okay, item 4, approved budget for 2024-2025 fiscal year 2025 and certification of property tax levy.
So I put a copy of the L2 in there for the property tax levy. I didn't give you everything like I did last year, all the supporting worksheets and different things. I kind of just gave you the final stuff with the numbers.
Make a motion to introduce and read ordinance 1 dash,
Well, you skipped one.
We need to approve it first.
oh, that's right. I'll make a motion to approve the budget for 2024-2025 fiscal year 2025 and certification of property tax levy.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Now? Make a motion to introduce and read ordinance -1-2025 by title only under suspension of rules and regulations.
It's been moved.
Second.
It's been seconded. All in favor?
No, motion.
Aye.
Oh.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Councilmember Newman,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrison, Councilmember Rhodes,
Aye.
Councilmember Platt.
Aye.
Ordinance 1-2025, an ordinance entitled the Annual Appropriation Ordinance for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2024, appropriating the sum of $4,567,791 to defray the expenses and liabilities of the city of Cambridge for said fiscal year, authorizing a levy of sufficient tax upon the taxable property and specifying the objects and purposes for which said appropriation is made. I make a motion to suspend the rules and regulations and waive the second and third readings and vote on ordinance 1-2025.
It's been moved.
Second.
Seconded. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Newman,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrison, Councilmember Rhodes, Councilmember Platt.
Aye.
Make a motion to pass ordinance 1-2025 under suspension of rules and regulations by one reading by title only.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Newman,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrison,
Aye.
Councilmember Rhodes,
Aye.
Councilmember Platt.
Aye.
Okay, so we've taken care of 4 and 5, right? Okay, item 6. Approved website by Civic Plus for ultimate implementation.
I don't know what that is, so.
Well, in your packets was a proposal, a quote from Civic Plus. Brandy and I have been looking at different websites. Our website was created by Levi Morris when he was in high school, and it's outdated. It's not user-friendly. It's not ADA compliant, all these other things, and it doesn't work a lot of the time. So we're just barely functioning. And so we've looked at some other companies, and we've looked at maybe Brandy actually building one herself. And we've kind of come to the conclusion, because of the Justice Department rule on ADA, we haven't received notice yet, but the counties have received notice that the Justice Department is going to require all county websites to be ADA compliant by the end of this year. And we talked to Robert Peterson, the IT director for the county, and he says he thinks that's going to be implemented for cities too. They just haven't given a date yet. The county actually uses Civic Plus. It's one of the only ones that they actually build them just for government agency and municipalities. They kind of specialize in that area. ADA compliant, the proposal in front of you, it is an ADA compliant website, but from my understanding, it'll make us ADA compliant right now at 2.0, but the new Justice Department deal is like 2.1 or 2.2. And so the county, actually, I listened to their meeting a little bit this morning, and they actually approved an add-on because they're required to be totally compliant here soon to get to that 2.2 or whatever it is. This won't have that add-on. If we're ever given a mandate that we've got to be in compliance by a certain date, then we'll probably have to get an add-on. But at least this program has it built in to be able to have that accomplished. And that's because you might say, well, what's ADA compliant on a website, right? Well, it's got to be available for people for hearing, for Braille, for any kind of accommodation, other languages, different things. I guess from what I understand, there's a certain icon that pops up on the website. And that's one thing. Our website isn't mobile friendly either. And this website would be mobile friendly, and that helps ADA compliance too. But there's an icon, and so then they'd be able to maneuver through the deal and say that they need it in Braille, or they want it read to them so that they could hear it, or whatever the options are. They want it in Japanese, or those types of things. Does that make sense?
Braille would have to be printed out.
So we considered Brandy doing it, but then we just thought, well, we'd be reinventing the wheel. I mean, this is already done. This covers us, and it's
And it
way,
costs $4,500.
way easier.
That would be with the one-time fee to initially set it up and stuff. Then there's an annual recurring fee. And right now, all we're paying is for our hosting with GoDaddy. And so this is a new expense, but I did put $3,000 in the budget. I had no idea what something was going to cost, but I mean, we basically have to have a functioning website anymore. And also it saves us advertising costs, like financial statements. Instead, the quarterly financial statements that are required, they can be on the website. They don't have to be published in the paper.
Okay.
With some of the new laws implemented. And they're gradually moving a lot of those new laws that way if they're on the website. But we've got to have a real functioning website too. It can't be down as much as the problems we've been having. But one good thing about it is, since Washington County uses Civics Plus, and we know Robert Peterson that's in charge of it, hopefully if we have a problem with it, we've got someone to contact and say, hey, can you help us? I mean, besides them, Randy's been real impressed with their customer service. And that money's budgeted into the next year's budget, but we'd kind of like to get going on it. I don't know when the bill would come through, but there's still some in our miscellaneous that would cover it for this year rather than next year too. So it just depends what you want to do on it.
Sounds good to me. Nothing worse than having people upset because they can't get what they're trying to find on our website.
Well, the nice thing, if it's already sent up for government agencies, they know right how to set it up, so everything flows into places,
And they will transfer it all up over? Or are somebody from the city gonna have to, like all our old agendas and?
Well, they'll transfer it, but they only transfer 5 years of meeting documents and stuff like that. But we could transfer more, I think, if we wanted, because we'll have additional pages. And, maybe sometime we'll have to decide exactly how long we want to keep them on the website, or just by public records law, or do we want to keep them longer, or...
There's no law that dictates that, I hope.
Well, there's laws for public records, but that doesn't,
Yeah,
but whether it has to be on the website or not might differ. I believe, like recordings and stuff like that, Washington County only keeps for 18 months. But recordings aren't required except land use ones, you know, for public records law.
okay.
But they probably take up a lot of space on your website, so that's probably why.
Okay. Well, we might just take their approach, 5 years, and just call it good.
Yeah.
And that's what
If someone wants something else, we've got it, you know.
that's the old-fashioned way.
Well, we still have it electronically with a lot of it.
You'll have to come in and talk to somebody. And we need, we just approve the website,
Yeah. We need a motion.
make a motion to approve website by Civic Plus for ultimate implementation.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, Gene's pet project.
Well, he wasn't at any of the meetings.
Sarah was in the meeting.
Item 7 is your pet project, but we'll have Sandra report on it.
Okay.
So about a month ago, Chris Milstead, the president of the Cambridge Economic Task Force, and I met with Road Credit Union, one of the managers out of Ontario and one out of Payette. They came up. Gene had mentioned to him when he was there about we'd sure like to see a bank come in and stuff, and they seemed a little bit interested. So anyway, we set up a meeting, and we met with them, and they got some information, and you know, we tried to shed the best light we could on everything in Cambridge and stuff, and especially emphasizing possible mines going in and stuff. And I had contacted Kristen Neeskens of Shrita, and she was real hopeful. She actually had coffee with someone from Rogue, and they said it sounded real promising. But last week, the ones from Ontario and Payette emailed me and said that they had turned it over for privacy reasons for the bank to headquarters and to some vice president, and that they'd be contacting me. And so anyway, I had a phone conversation with her. She was the vice president of facilities. And they are going into new markets. They're going down into Caldwell area right now. They have a few new branches opening on the Oregon coast. They're going into Northern California, like Eureka, places like that. And they'd like to expand more into Idaho, but they said our market's not big enough. They couldn't give a physical location. They said they could do something with an ATM, but we already have an ATM in town. They said they would also be willing to put it in an express teller machine, but the city would have to subsidize it. And so that means that we would have to provide the place to put the machine. We would have to provide the security. We would have to provide the internet. We would have to buy the machine. We would have to pay to have the machine installed, all the wiring and other types of things to have the machine installed. And I said, well, what would that cost us? And she said, well, she was guessing around $200,000.
Make anything off of it?
Well, that's what I was wondering, because it's like, well, we're giving you everything for your business plus a customer base, but we have to pay for it so you can make money. I didn't say that, but you know, that's. Anyway, that was their proposal, and I said, well, have you proposed this to any other city? And she said, yeah, there have been a few. And I said, oh, well, who's doing it? And she said, no other city has accepted our offer.
Surprise.
But I told her I would let you guys know about it. I mean, I don't see that there's any way we could look at something like that without a grant. Yeah. So, and an express teller machine, if you don't know what that is, you actually get a teller. You press a button and you get a live teller. So if, and
On the
it-
screen.
On the screen, and you can do most any transaction that you ever do at a bank, and it'll give you cash back out of it too. The exact change, you want to cash a check for $12.40, it's going to give you exactly $12.40. So it has lots of good features about it that actually would be handy in our community, but I
The
just,
bank put it in and ran it.
right. When we talked to them about the old US Bank site, and the first gals that came up, they went and took pictures of the US Bank building and different things to take back. I was, hoping for something, but anyway, that's the scoop.
Okay.
So,
Sorry, Gene.
if you want me to pursue it, I can, but I don't know.
Oh, we don't want to put out the money. If they put it in, it'd be all right. City ain't.
Heck with the bank, can you bring Pizza Hut or something, Taco Bell?
How about a Maverick? Maverick, somebody said that the other day. Oh yeah, Maverick, that's a good restaurant for you guys up here.
We can get Bahama Mamas.
Wait till the one in Midville goes in, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Is that Maverick?
No.
No, it's private.
That's what I thought. I thought maybe somebody had roped in Maverick and got him up here.
Private for now.
It's probably the loved one.
No. Item 8.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite, adjourn. I make a motion to adjourn.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Hey, hey.
Any opposed? Motion carries.